Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Lift. And this is a new action crime comedy coming your way from Netflix. Kevin Hart and director F. Gary Gray and writer Daniel Konka. And this film, oddly enough, feels very, very similar to a previous F. Gary Gray film, The Italian Job, his remake of the classic heist film. And this heist film really borrows, honestly, a lot from it. It definitely feels like an F. Gary Gray film. They have a very similar tone and feel, this sleekness to it, and I think that worked about it. It has some big spectacle elements, and those are probably like the big, most exciting elements. There's a lot of plane involved elements here, and I think they leverage it pretty well as they're trying to steal $100 million in gold bullion off of a 777. And I feel like the biggest problem with this is that it plays it safe, it's very generic, it really leans in cliches, and it's kind of boring. And that's not good when you're trying to make like an action thriller with some comedy, is that it never feels like it kicks into another gear. It never feels like it's doing anything unique or interesting. Only a few of the cast members, like Vincent D'Onofrio, who's part of the crew, who certainly is having a lot of fun here, and like Billy Magnuson as well. I think he has some fun, but almost every single way that the Italian Job stands out as a rock-solid and enjoyable heist film, this really doesn't deliver. Kevin Hart's extremely boring and uninteresting as the main character and gets caught up in a very uninteresting and boring dynamic with the Interpol agent who had a fling with him previously, and Gugu Mbatha-Raw is too good of an actress to be saddled with such a boring role here. And that's the thing. A lot of these characters just don't have much personality. I think Ursula Corbaro, who is the pilot of the team, I think she has a few elements here or there. But you have people like Kevin Hart really doesn't add much. Sam Worthington, who's like one of the Interpol guys, doesn't really add much. Even Jean Reno, who is the big bad guy here, barely is in the movie, probably did like a day of shooting, and doesn't really get to do a whole lot with it. There's just so many elements of this that feel so just thrown together, so bland, and just there. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything particularly interesting, and in the end, it just really falls into all the tropes you expect from these heist films. Even the twists feel telegraphed from like a mile away. And in general, you could probably die of alcohol poisoning if you did a drinking game as well of how many times they say the title of this film, because they say Lift a lot. And it's just one of those frustrating things where it's just like some of the dialogue's not really interesting, and it's so on the nose, and there's some logic problems with how some of the bad guys work. Like you have henchmen played by the likes of Bern Gorman and Paul Anderson, aka Arthur Shelby. And it's just one of those things where it's just they really miss out on a lot of potential here. There is a lot of potential here, and it all just kind of feels flat and unenthusiastic and uninspired. But those are my thoughts on Lift. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.